KSNR Coffin Radio.
Welcome to another exciting episode of Coffin Radio. I am Heartthrob Rob, and joining me live from LAX Fan Fest is Dirty Ron.
What's crackin', my man? Happy to be here on Coffin Podcast, Coffin Radio.
Coffin Radio, there you
Coffin
go.
Radio, man. You know, we're here at the LA Fan Expo, and I'm here representing XPW, the baddest wrestling brand in all the land. And I'm Dirty Ron McDonald, the baddest clown in every motherfucking town. Happy to be here. Happy to get on this, get on this LA vape shit. You can only do this shit on the West Coast, you know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
Hell yeah, rockin' and rollin'.
Dude, you're part of XPW, the most extreme, craziest wrestling promotion out here, and you're the craziest, most extreme dude that they've got.
That's not true. We've got Masada, we've got Schlack, we've got Necro Butcher, we've got the biggest and the baddest and best on the planet. At the next show at Halloween Hell on Saturday, October 22nd, it's myself going against another crazy clown, Pagano. After main eventing Triple H's Triple Mania, Pagano coming up to XPW. Now let me tell you, Rob, is that I was a little nervous because I've seen what this guy can do, okay? But I'm Dirty Ron McDonald, I don't give a shit. I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna lay this shit down and show him, hey, this is how we do it in America, this is how we do it at XPW. And hopefully, after I give him a proper ass whooping, then I'm gonna get invited down to Mexico and show him I can do that shit down there too.
International superstar, bro. Show them what we can bring you.
Fucking that's what we try to do around here, Dirty Rob.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So
by the way, you don't mind me calling you Dirty Rob?
You can call me whatever you want, brother. I love Dirty Rob.
Don't say that. I will call you some shit. That might give me cancer.
So you said that you'll only do this on the West Coast. Are you based out of somewhere else right now?
I live in San Diego.
Okay.
I'm from St. Louis. I started wrestling in the year 2000, my first match in 2001. I've done some extra work with WWF, wrestled Braun Strowman and shit like that. Worked a little bit, like Ring of Honor, whatever, refereeing, a little extra stuff. But, wrestling and deathmatch wrestling is my forte. I started watching deathmatch wrestling back in the tape trading days. In the mid-90s, saw some FMW, some Big Japan, some Scorpion death matches, some Piranha death matches and shit. And I was like, you know what? That's some badass shit. And I don't know if you know this about redheads, we got a real high pain tolerance.
True.
So, I was like, this is the kind of shit that I'm digging. So when XPW came back, I run my own little promotion in school down in San Diego called Fist Combat, FISTCOMBAT, and last summer I did a jump off a 22-foot high roof, threw a motherfucker on a table. We had like 1,000 people in the alley for this show, and I got in trouble for it, right? But but I'm white, so I smooth talked my way out of that. I didn't get any tickets, right? So we still throw our shows down there almost every other weekend when I'm not out of town doing it. And wrestling's been my entire life. My mom was a pro wrestler, low-level independent wrestler from the Midwest. We got every WrestleMania live. Fucking dude, I loved it. I love wrestling. There's nothing better.
That's fucking amazing.
Nothing better.
Second generation, bro. And
kind of.
Well, hey, it's in your blood a little bit. And as much as you're popping in LA, you are definitely popping in San Diego. You guys got a lot going out there for the wrestling, and for you to be a pioneer and really pushing that line out there.
Yeah.
Because when people think of Cali, they think of LA or they think of San Francisco for wrestling. But you are the man out there in San Diego, so I appreciate you pushing that line.
San Diego, it's one of those towns. It's a weird town. It's a town made up of a bunch of 30 and 40-year-old single people with no kids. We're competing against the sunset every day. When Raw comes down there, they draw like 3,500, 4,000 people. It's not a big town for a lot of independent stuff. But I went down there. We started Fist Combat 5 years ago, and now I make a full-ass time living off of wrestling, being an entertainer, and being the baddest clown in every town.
Absolutely. And outside of wrestling, you do comedy shows, right? Can you tell us a little bit about that, how that came about?
It's the most disrespected art form on the planet, okay? Because you see me do a body slam, you're like, shit, that's dope. I can't do that, right? You hear somebody hit a lick on a guitar, you're like, man, that shit was dope, right? But if I tell a joke, you're like, that motherfucker wasn't funny. I'm so much funnier than that. My friends tell me I'm funny. But, it's an extension. Wrestling and comedy, a lot of similarities. Wrestling, we're mostly naked. Comedy, we're emotionally naked. They have the independent circuits with wrestling and comedy. There's a lot of similarities. You're a one-man show. It all relies on you. In comedy, you're just doing comedy. Little action, a little drama, a little stunt, a little improv. But in wrestling, it's comedy, action, improv, stunt work, all in one take with an audience 360 degrees around you. All in our fancy underwear while we're sweating. So, of all the acting and stunt work and even the comedy that I've done, the thing that I'm the most proud of is wrestling. And the thing that that sets wrestlers and wrestling apart is that we hold so many skills that a lot of other entertainers, they don't get the opportunity to do. They have to retake shoots, do stuff like that. We're doing all this stuff in one take. So, to have respect for wrestling and wrestlers is something that's amazing, but I have gained respect for stand-up comedy. 6 to 12 times on stage every year for 8 years before I got as horrible as I am now. So, it's a disrespected art form, but if you can get good at it, get your timing skills on, nothing better. Nothing better.
You're the man. I think you put it a perfect way, being naked in front, damn near naked in front of them, and then being emotionally naked. That's really what it is,
It's all up to you, too,
Yeah.
If you say something people like, they're going to dig it. If they don't, they're going to let you hear about that,
Yeah.
Where in wrestling, you're encouraged to be part of the show. You're encouraged to yell at the bad guys, cheer the good guys. That's something I really don't like about wrestling these days. That's what we do. We tell stories. It's the best part about professional wrestling. We tell stories. There's to be a beginning, a middle, and an end. There's to be a protagonist and an antagonist. There's got to be that story there, I believe. Because we all love wrestling, and we all have loved wrestling for a long time. But if we want to get brand new fans into wrestling, the way that we do that is by making it palatable for people that might have liked wrestling. I hear it all the time. Oh, I used to like wrestling when the NWO. I used to like wrestling when Hulk Hogan. I used to like wrestling when this. Well, I want to put on shows for people that used to like wrestling. People that want to go get drunk, have a good time, yell at the fucking wrestlers. That's why on our posters it says, get drunk and heckle. That's what we want you to do. You can't do that shit at a rock show. You can't do that at comedy. You can't even do that at church. But at pro wrestling, you can get wild. You can forget about all your problems. You can let all of it out on the bad guy, because you know what? We all have shit going on in our lives, right? We all do. Life's tough. Life's tough for everybody. But you can completely lose yourself at a pro wrestling show. And that's why I love professional wrestling.
Hell yeah, dude. I love it. That's so perfectly put, man. Bring the wrestling fans back like that. And, you're one of those guys who has a bunch of crazy matches under his belt. What are some of your favorite matches that you've had?
Wrestling Slack was incredible. A couple XPW pay-per-views ago, I got to work with my fucking hero, Sabu. I've had a couple dope-ass matches with Nick Gage that, I guess put me on the map a little bit. Sadiqa, Sage Sin, people I love being in the ring with. I'm looking forward to a bunch of dope-ass matches this year. Like I said, I got Pagano here in a few weeks. I'm fighting the Bev when XPW invades the East Coast out in Jersey on November 12th. So, I think the plans going forward with XPW are, let's see what Dirty Ron McDonald can do. So I think they're going to test me. They're going to put me in some of the best deathmatch wrestlers in the world, and I'm going to show them why Dirty Ron McDonald doesn't clown around.
They're going to give you the ball, man. I just want to see you run with it. You're some of those guys that you got to watch anything that you do. Wrapping it up here, where can people follow you on social media?
At Dirty Ron McDonald. But you know what? Just follow the path of chaos and destruction.
Woo!
Because I tell you what, I don't care what fucking bridges I burn. I don't care who I talk shit about. Because you know what? This is wrestling, where characters are appreciated. XPW appreciates characters. They appreciate wild-ass motherfuckers, and they appreciate some of the best wrestling on the planet. It's not just about death matches. It's not just about women death matches or intergender death matches. We have some of the best wrestlers on the planet. Ty Valkyrie, our women's champion right now. Masada, our heavyweight champion. Slack, our King of the Deathmatch champion. We're about to crown a TV champion. And you know what? All of those titles, I don't care. All of those titles, even the women's title, is in my sights. So again, mark it right here. Not only are you going to see XPW go international next year, you're going to see Dirty Ron McDonald with some gold around my waist, or probably around my neck, like a fucking gangster does that shit.
Hell yeah, man. I can't wait to see it, Dirty Ron. I appreciate it.
No doubt.
For Dirty Ron, I am Heartthrob Rob at LA's Fan Fest. And if you like what you're watching, then hop in the coffin. Follow us on social media at Coffin Radio. Coffin is spelled with a K. And that's all for today.
Coffin Radio, baby. Dirty Ron McDonald with Dirty Bob over here.
ASMR Coffin Radio.